the street, they call it murder.
Bow. Right, we're back. Episode 7, third person podcast. We're back with a big special episode. We're happy to announce this one. We've been waiting a long time to get him on. Take it away.
Yeah, it's going to be a killer, this one. I reckon we call this one the blueprint episode because my man's about to give you all some crazy insight on how to get to the top of the game in the scene, that modern day come up. So let's introduce him. Welcome onto the podcast, bro.
Yes, boys.
Dami.
Big up, Dami.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
Give yourself an introduction.
Good, man, I'm good.
Little introduction.
Well, my name's Dami, also known as Dxnby, as we've just been speaking about. But no, Harry Dami. Dami is my second name. Been DJing for best part of 6, 7, maybe 8 years now, depends on when you want to start saying it was real.
Yeah.
But
We'll kick off from when it started. Doncaster to Leeds. Tell us about where the journey started, going to college in Leeds, getting into the music.
yeah, how far back do you want me to go?
The very
Let's go to the
start.
beginning. When did you first buy your first set of decks, or when did you first start listening to
And
the
what
music?
got you
or
into it?
What was the,
So
what
yeah, I
was the
remember
genre?
first set of decks. It was like house party era. I remember going to house parties and not really liking the tunes that people were playing. Like, because people just get on the aux and play, you know, like Shakira or something. So I thought, I'm going to buy some decks, and I thought, I'm going to just start taking decks to parties, being the guy that would just have a speaker, like a little PA system and a set of decks, and just say, yeah, I'll come down and play some tunes. And yeah, that's how it really started. I remember selling a load of my garms on Depop to build up some cash to get some decks in. There was some like little Newmark USB decks. I remember I like taxed my mum's old laptop, got like, what was it called, virtual DJ? You ever seen that? Virtual DJ one, using that house parties. But that's really where it started for DJing. And then what's the next step really?
Selling joggers for £4 on Depop, trying
Literally,
to
bro, I
stack
remember
it all.
just selling a couple of things I had, because the decks I actually saw on Depop as well.
I had
I was like, if I
one
can sell
T
a
left
couple
in
of
the
things,
wardrobe.
I'll have enough. And then I think they were £90 I paid, and they came through the door. I remember actually, yeah, they came through the door when I lived with my mum, and she was going on holiday for like 3-4 days. And the day she's like packing up to go on holiday, I'm unboxing these decks, and she's looking at me. She's like, I know what you're on with here. Like, don't think I'm stupid having parties. And I was like, nah, I'm just gonna start DJing in my bedroom. Yeah, little did she know, we had little project decks and just got all the people around. But that was like the start of DJing for me, was just getting my friends round and being able to play music that I knew we would like, rather than just listening to what people was putting on the
What
aux
age
at
was
parties.
this? 16, 17?
Yeah, 16's definitely. I think it was maybe just pushing 17 when I first bought them decks. And then the next step really from that was going into DJing at a club weirdly called Hideout in Wakefield. And the story goes, I was trying to set up, I was just turning 18, so it was in September, my birthday, and we were trying to set up a party at like at what we call an illegal warehouse in Wakefield.
Yeah.
And me and my friend Teddy had sold like maybe 40, 50 tickets for this illegal rave, basically is what it was. And then the guy who was at the warehouse got wind that we were all basically under 18, pulled the plug, and I found myself in a position where I had 50 people ready for a party, a birthday, and no venue.
And they'd all paid
I remember
for it.
at the time, yeah, Teddy, my friend, used to go into Wakefield, 'cause I was too young at the time, I'd not really even been up around town, and he'd been in this club called Hideout. He rang the guy up and he said, listen, can we just use your venue? We've sold this many tickets. I remember we went into the venue, and the guy looked us up and down. We were young kids, like trying to throw a party. He looked at us like, what are these kids doing? And luckily, actually gave us a chance. To throw a party. I remember this 100-cap like cocktail bar we had rammed out on a Saturday night, full of all our friends playing like good house music, which at the time in the town that I lived in wasn't really happening. You'd have the bottles clubs and like the R&B clubs and stuff, but there wasn't really a place where proper house music was getting played and proper long extended sets and stuff like that. So yeah, that was like a moment. I remember at 18, I'd just turned 18, this idea of an illegal rave had turned into like an actual official event almost. And at 18 and Teddy being 19, 20 or something, we got given a Friday night residency at the bar.
At the Hideout.
So I was like at college at this time, just no money coming in. thought of this illegal rave just to sell a few tickets and have a party with my friends, and it's turned into like every Friday night now I'm getting paid. It was like £70 or something to play tunes all night. So like I sort of fell on my feet DJing at a young age, and got like a residency there, which helps me just be able to play music often, get a bit of money in. Because at 16, I mean I was 18 then. I mean, I was getting no money, so even just to have that 70 quid coming from music at that age was sick.
Yeah.
And I was at college at that age. So
did you move to? You went to college in Leeds, right?
Yeah, college in Leeds.
Did you move to Leeds while you were in college, or were you just making the journey every day?
No, so when I was 16 and 17, I moved in with my mum, and she lived in Wakefield. So I went to school in Wakefield for a bit, and then when it came to the decision of going to college, the easy option was to go to college in Wakefield, where a lot of my friends from school would have been going. But I just fancied making a change and making the venture into the city to start the college journey. I don't really know what made me do that, but that little decision there, just deciding to get an hour bus instead of the easy option, be with all my friends, get an hour bus into the city and just experience a different city and like a different area. That's really what started my love for music. That's where I ended up meeting Kepler on that college course, because he was a tutor at Leeds City College at
Kepler's
that time.
the teacher on the course.
Yeah, so mad story.
Crazy.
So obviously I got no GCSEs, so when I went to college, instead of going straight into level 3, I had to do like level 1 media, level 2 media, and then go into my music course, which I ended up sacking off after a month anyway. But I was on level 2 media at this time, and Kepler, who I just knew as Matt Farrow at the time, was a media tutor at Leeds City College. So he was DJing part-time and
was he not like as known as he is now, in a sense?
He was still doing fairly well. He still had regular gigs, but he was definitely more in the underground like vinyl scene. He was making more like,
would you say that
what you call like underground minimal, like it was almost like French house that he was making at the time, proper minimal.
Would you say that like sort of influenced your sort of sound to switch from like regular house?
When I met him, I was just doing a media course. I liked making a bit of music on FL Studio and obviously DJing, but I wasn't really taking music production seriously. And I met him and he, because in the lessons we were meant to be, I don't know, editing podcasts or editing photos, and me and my mates would just be digging on SoundCloud, and he'd obviously come over and he'd notice we'd just be going through tracks on SoundCloud. At that time, heavily influenced by like Bibby and Pauser and Martinez Brothers, and like my earliest raves and memories of raves, turning 18 in 2018, is like Solid Grooves and Martinez Brothers in church in Leeds and stuff like that. And I remember he obviously already, Kepler at this time was more in the minimal scene, and he was using Ableton instead of FL Studio, what I was using. So the two takeaways I just remember from just meeting him was stop making like the tech house that I am, which wasn't me. It was too influenced by like, I guess, the Spanish tech house and the Solid Grooves vibe. And he said, listen to this guy called Rossi, and I didn't have a clue who Rossi was at the time. He said, listen to Rossi, I think you'll like him. And that, through him saying that, I think I then discovered like Joko, or Coulter as you'd call him now, and found a more minimal, like funky underground.
Is that like the era when he had like Yen and In Village out and stuff like that?
Yeah. Early, like proper, like almost when he did the Noah EP as well. Like
cool.
Can't remember what it was called. Even Rossi's Noah EP was a long time ago. But yeah, just him sort of guiding me and telling me you should probably use Ableton over FL. That was a key. And then saying try getting into this minimal sound. I think you'll like it, because I think he saw I'd be listening to tech house, and then he saw I'd be listening to garage. And then
so you sort of had Kepler as like a bit of a mentor, innit?
Yeah, and it's weird to now say like he's obviously gone full-time music now, has been for a couple of years and smashed it, and I'll play on similar lineups with it. It's like a full circle moment. For one time I can remember the guy used to tell us off for like coming in and stinking of weed in lessons and shit. And now I'm like on the same lineups as him and stuff, you know what I mean? So yeah,
still stinking of weed.
It's a full still it's a full circle moment, defo. And yeah, I think even though he didn't really give me that much advice, the small thing he did say pointed me in a different direction and helped me early on, which is sick.
Yeah.
So as you were developing through your career, and you can see obviously Kepler leveling up in his career, was you always kind of looking up to him and seeing that you really should probably take his advice on board to a serious level?
I always just...
He was killing it.
Yeah, I always even just respected when I first met him that he was playing a load of gigs and wasn't aiming, and I still would say this now, he doesn't aim to be the make big hits and stuff, and his tracks are just still sick, you know what I mean? I think he's comfortable in making that Kepler sound and putting it out there. And even back then I noticed he was gigging loads, but just releasing on these underground vinyl labels that I'd never even heard of. And like, but there was still, like, I just noticed that he was tapping into like a proper underground market, which before that I'd not really seen. I'd just come from the surface level house of Ibiza and Solid Grooves and stuff like that. He showed me that you can be underground and still be successful, I think, which is...
So from getting into like the house music and obviously developing your sound with obviously Kepler's influence, what would you say sort of was the move that it'd take it from being a hobby to thinking you could take it a bit more serious?
Yeah, so it was not long after that, to be fair. I'd done the media course and was going on to do level 3, and I chose music because I thought, right, I've got into producing now, and the music course is obviously the next step. And I thought in my back of my brain, hopefully Kepler will be the music teacher. He wasn't. It was some washed up failed musician. Basically, it was my level.
Shout him out,
bro. Listen, I'll say this, and it's horrible, but like people who are teaching college courses of music are failed musicians. People who are smashing it end up leaving like Kepler did before they. You know what I mean? Like, it's a weird position to be in, to teach music from someone who hasn't succeeded in the music industry. Because if you're a college tutor, let's face it, you haven't made it.
You're always looking past that teacher's goals. Like, you want to be further than he ever got.
Yeah, so that's what and it's a bad thing to say because they do try, these teachers. But I just felt like when I got to level 3 and I've got a guy who's like 40 odd who never really made it and just settled to be a teacher, I was wanted a bit more. And then also in a college course, you're also learning at the slowest person in the classroom's pace. So if there's a part that you've already taught yourself, like, I don't know, making drums at home, or you've already got experience in stuff,
so you almost felt like you got ahead of the class. I
just felt like I wanted to crack on and make music, and I was being taught how to like wire up a mic and in front of a drum set sort of thing. So yeah, then what happened is, boom.
Just why you left college.
COVID. That comes on the news. I'm thinking, shit. Then what's happening here? And at this time, I don't know how much detail I can go into. I'll just fucking say it. I was living on my friend's sofa because like maybe 3 months earlier, my mum booted me out for how can I say it?
Say what you want, we cut it out if it.
So I'm living on my mate's sofa. The guy, the one I was telling you about, whose dad drives me everywhere. My best mate. I was living on his sofa, and COVID comes round, and I'd been living on his sofa for about 6 months just to finish. To like get through college, basically, to finish it off. And this COVID thing comes around. I remember saying to him, listen, I'm just going to go live with my mum in Doncaster because we've been told 2-week lockdown. Minor. I'll spend 2 weeks learning to make beats properly, and I'm going to lock in at my mum's. That 2 weeks turned into 2 years. But when I say I locked in and made music every single day for them 2 years, like 12 hours on Ableton, just smoke, beat. And by the end,
do you ever have like a reflection and thinking if COVID didn't happen, you might not be where you are today?
In terms of music production, I 100% have the time that we had during COVID, and just everything was cut off. Don't get me wrong, I was still working. I was working like terrible warehouse jobs, so it wasn't like I suddenly had a new amount of time. It was just being so isolated from
distraction,
like going to gigs or going to the pub or even coming here or any. It was just like nobody was going anywhere. And it was like, this is the time. I've got nothing else to do. I literally just sat on Ableton all day, every day. And I remember at the start of lockdown, I'd never really had many gigs apart from the ones I put on myself, and I'd never had a release. Lockdown ended, and I remember after that, I was playing pretty much every weekend, small gigs after that. And came out of lockdown with like a number, I think it was like a number 3 Beatport EP.
Yeah.
So I remember it was just like a complete different world when lockdown ended.
You just locked in. You reap the rewards of it.
I found one thing I kind of speculated on is that I think people who were already gigging a lot when lockdown came, they took it as a bit of a break.
Like a
bit of a time off. And then anyone who was just about to like take off or was hungry saw this as like, right, I've got a while to lock in now for when lockdown ends. So you saw some people who were already on the way up took a break, and then people who were nobodies started rising, and then lockdown ended, and there was like a switch up in the scene. Like there was loads of young kids that were smashing it after lockdown. You'd notice, you know what I mean? It just sort of felt like the industry was flipped on its head after lockdown.
During lockdown,
time, didn't it?
Yeah.
During lockdown, you're making beats, mastering the production, knowing Ableton and like the back of your hand. How would you approach the days in lockdown, like when you're producing?
Well, I wouldn't recommend it.
Did you go in with a goal?
It was just unhealthy. I would just wake up, probably gone to sleep at 4 a.m, wake up at 1, 2 p.m, go downstairs, make a coffee, have a spliff, and then get on Ableton, and then like realise it about 4 hours later that I need to eat because I've just been concentrating on. I had a feeling like every time I wasn't on the able or doing something to better myself, I just felt like almost a loser.
Do you feel like your fixation, you've been locked into it so long that, like you're saying, you forget to eat, the hours go by, you don't even realise how long you've been
I was
doing
just hungry. I knew I needed, let's face it, lockdown started, I was living on my friend's sofa. Luckily, the worry of a massive disease, my mum was just like, come back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I was allowed back for a bit. But like before that, I was basically homeless. And I knew if I didn't lock in on summer, that I was going to end lockdown and be in the exact same position. So I just had this feeling where whenever I wasn't doing anything, I was like, I need to work. Just had this mad, just ridiculous drive. Like
At this time, 2030 formed, or was this sort of post-COVID?
Yeah, 2030 formed, but only sort of as, you know, when you're in your hometown and 5 mates get together and say, let's start doing parties. That's what it was at that point, you know what I mean? It was just very raw. We were just figuring out how to use Skiddle and, designing my own flyers and just, you know what I mean, getting a group of friends together. So yeah, it was very early stages, but it's always been there. It's always been an idea that I've wanted just to have a brand or a group where anyone I know
reckons to your name.
And my friends who want to get involved and stuck in on and showing the talents or putting the talents together it's always there, you know what I mean?
How many tracks do you reckon you came out of lockdown with?
I was making one a day. That's where I got into my habit of just getting up and just making an idea a day.
Like you wouldn't go to sleep until it was boxed off, finished.
That's what I used to tell people. I say if I've not made one tune today, I would go to sleep feeling
730 tracks though.
Well, how many? It was probably, I do have over 1,000 now.
What, in your unreleased?
Uploaded on SoundCloud,
no,
on private.
Don't. Really, yeah.
You actually
sat on 1,000.
Do you ever have any like you go back to? And
let me have a look.
Do you make tracks now from projects you've gone back to and sort of like give it the 2025 Dxnby, 2026 Dxnby on it?
Less so that, but what I do like doing is going back to old music. And because I've got that much of it and I got into that mindset of pumping one out a day, going back and you can almost listen to your own music as if you've never heard it before.
That's insane.
Imagine like it's almost like discovering a tune again.
You've got that many tracks that you can go back and listen to a track and like completely forget you when you made it. And
because sometimes I'll think I hate it, and then like 2 months later I'll listen to it again, and I'll like almost say sorry to myself. I'll be like, shit, like, nah, you were wrong. This is fire.
You know what's the difference then making a track and like out of all the tracks you make, what is it that stands out and goes right? Yeah, I need to release that one.
It's hard because when you've made the track and spent, you know, say if I spend 12 hours in the studio listening to the same song all day, it doesn't even sound like a song anymore. It just sounds like a load of sounds mashed together. So I think it does take that 2 months to let it almost sit, to go back to it and listen to it.
Let it marinate and then let the ears hear it again.
And that's why it's hard. Obviously, there's a culture at the minute where you've got to make music, you got to get it out, or people just don't care anymore. Like it seems like if there's a tune that you put out and people are liking it, if it's not out within 2 months, the fans almost get pissed off and they're like, I'm done with it. Like and I'm like, I'm still figuring out.
And that's the influence of social media nowadays.
I noticed a lot of unreleased that'll get like absolutely spammed everywhere, and it's almost as if like basically going off what you said, if you don't get it out within a certain amount of time, and because it's so, when it actually does come out, no one's asked.
Yeah, it's hard. I think it's a difficult.
How do you balance like wanting to drop a track with obviously all the hype that people are going to give it on social media, but like wanting to drop it as well, because you can't leave it too long and then it stales out, but you don't want to drop it too quick if it's getting a load of social media hype?
If I had the answer to this, I think I've cracked the code. It's a difficult one at the minute because I think it's definitely
What's your approach to it then?
I think it's definitely worth responding to the hype. If there's a tune that you've got and you've teased it and you start playing it and you are able to get it out and there's no reason not to, and do it. But I think sometimes it's hard because artists have their own idea about what they wanted a certain track to be, or they might have wanted it to be part of this EP for this person's label, and that label or that EP might take 6 months to put together, but then the artist is then faced with, they've put their 6 months into making sure it goes onto this perfect label and this perfect EP, and the fans would have rather them just dropped it on Bandcamp a month ago just so they could listen to it, you know what I mean? So I don't know, it depends what you're here for. It depends if you're making music and releasing music to please yourself, which I am, unfortunately. Selfish it sounds. I make music because I love making it. I release what I love, and if people like it, they like it. If they don't, I don't really give a shit. Like, I think it's important to try not to, and I've been victim to it, like succumb to the trends and like staying on the hype train, because you end up just making music for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean?
reckon it's easy just to like stay away from all distractions, just do your own thing, follow your own path?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to know what's cool, and it's cool to listen to what the fans want, but when it boils down to it, you're making music for yourself.
So out of a lot of upcoming DJs, you're predominantly known for creating your own sound. So starting on that journey of like defining your own sound, what sort of was the influence behind that, and how do you think it differs to other producers to what you've done?
I mean, I think you could definitely probably...
You can definitely listen to a Dami track and like know it's Dami.
The genres probably that I listen to or grew up around, being like up north, in like all areas of Yorkshire. I remember like when I was young, in Doncaster there was a lot of bass line, and then like two-step garage. Because an insight into like my younger years, like my mum was 16, 17 when I was born, my dad was 18, so they were still quite early in their like music discovering years. So like even being young, I remember like just dance music being played and chavvy like garage beats being played and chavvy bassline beats being played like in early 2000s, and then later on, just listening to a lot of, I guess, having young parents, I grew up on a lot of younger music.
Sort of grew up with them.
Yeah, I grew up with them, and they like went through the tastes and stuff that my parents did. So that definitely shaped it. Like the areas I've listened, the areas and the genres I've listened to, like definitely influenced by garage, definitely influenced by bassline in my younger years, and then I sort of discovered house properly when I was like 16, 17, 18, which is where I found like where I saw myself in the scene. I don't know what it was about the house scene compared to like the garage scene or the bassline scene. I just found it seemed nicer. It seemed like a fit in there.
Where do you feel like, so out of all the tracks you were making and discovering your sound, where did you feel like your recognition come from? Like what, I mean, it might be a hard question for yourself with so many tracks, but
one track like
what was the recognition tracks for you, and what was the turning point in
the easy answer is bumping, but I'd say before bumping was Be Happy. Like I had that Be Happy track, and it was just on Bandcamp. I'd not even put it on SoundCloud. I just put it on Bandcamp as a little edit, and one of my friends said like, mate, you need to get that on SoundCloud, you need to get that up on streaming platforms. And I was like, why? Like, just not really. Like I said, I was making that much music, I wasn't really interested in what it sounded like. I was so focused on just making more and more and more to get to where I wanted to be. And people along the way would stop me and be like, nah, that one needs to go up, like that one needs to go up. And that was one of them ones my mate Clarky just said, you need to get that on streaming platforms, or at least SoundCloud. And I just thought, yeah, fuck it, I'll put it up. And then it's ended up being my first track with 1 million streams and stuff like that. And if I didn't
big up though.
If I didn't listen to him, it would have just been on Bandcamp, and you know what I mean, people playing it. Right, so definitely that one. But I remember before even that, like early days, I remember the first ever track that got traction was a track called Nostalgia, because at this time, I mean, it's probably a perfect time and to start producing, because now it's harder. I think at that time I was just producing music, putting it up on SoundCloud for free download, and then seeing if it did well. It was the most simple time ever.
I was just
making music, free download it. You'd know if people liked it because they'd download it for free. If they didn't, move on. It was like a simple time.
I was a big fan of the track Melod. I can't remember what it was released on, but
that was on 2030, I think. To be fair,
that's underrated to me. I mean,
I think I've got a lot to owe to them free downloads back in the day. Like, not many people do them at the minute, but like me and Gigster with edits, even Max back in the day, like you did an edit, you put it up on SoundCloud, and every time someone wants to download the track, they have to repost the track and they have to follow you on Spotify, SoundCloud,
hyperlink.
So like, it was just an easy way of gaining a platform and like a following, because people wanted to play the music. I didn't want to sell it. I didn't think it was good enough to sell yet, but it was worth a repost. I think I got like 5,000-6,000 SoundCloud followers before anyone even really knew who I was, by putting a lot of this music out for free.
Cool. Do you reckon that's a good piece of advice? These upcoming producers, drop free downloads, drop some edits, 100%. Get your name out there.
Like, if you've got a lot of music there and you're struggling, people aren't signing it.
Would you say making your own sound is a big influence though as well?
What do you say?
Upcoming producers, like your own sound as well as the way you're promoting it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're making music for yourself, it's hard not to make your own sound. Like when I'm producing a minute, I'll just sample music that I'm listening to, or like I'll draw influence from albums that I love or stuff like that. I feel like you can't not have your own sound if you do that. You know what I mean, if you're making music that you want to hear and it's referencing all your favourite music, and it's going to be your own sound.
The more time you spend in that studio, the more time you're going to have to figure it out.
That's one thing I'd say with advice to producers, and it's just the time. Like, I can't stress that I genuinely did probably spend 12 hours on my laptop most days in that lockdown.
Yeah, with upcomers, a bit of a controversial question. What's your opinion on talent versus like social media influence? I personally think you need a bit of both.
Yeah, you definitely need both, but I think you can't. It's hard because who am I to say you need more talent and don't worry about the socials when at the minute the socials are probably what's blowing more artists up.
You can leverage it to your advantage.
Like, so at the minute we're in a weird time where it probably is the pendulum's leaning towards the socials being more important, but that only lasts for so long, and the real music always survives. You know what I mean? I always feel like you can have like songs that are popping, but it's all about building long-term fan bases, really, like fans who are going to come back and listen to your music for years to come and all that stuff. So it's important to make sure you're putting your talent out there, but you've got to have the talent as well. Otherwise, the social media fad will run out and you'll almost be exposed, you know what I mean?
What would you say to those who have got some talent, spend a load of time in the studio, but haven't got the connections to go and push the music out? How should they approach in trying to get their music listened to and get a platform?
TikTok at the minute, you can't deny it, it's too easy to get yourself out there. The amount of artists I've discovered for the record label just by scrolling on TikTok and a song comes up. So I think that's one thing, just making sure people can see you, you know what I mean, you're visible. But it's hard, it's definitely hard when, you know, I know people and producers that can make the best music ever, sign to the best labels ever, but then they're not good on socials, they won't get on the camera, and they're not getting the attention they deserve. So I think it's hard, like, I wish I knew a better way to say to these people, like, you know what I mean?
How did you do it? Because TikTok wasn't exactly popping back in 2020.
How important is networking to you on the upcome?
Definitely, it's definitely important to network. Like I just think the music is more important. Like, you can network all you want, but if you've not got the music, like at the end of the day, you could do no networking, and if you've got a track that everyone wants to play, you've done the networking. Like, the track has done the networking for you by being on all these dance floors and videos and people hearing it. So like, it's definitely a combination of both. And I guess you just got to tell people, don't be shy of social media, don't take it too seriously, don't be too worried if your post ain't getting as many likes as this guy, you know what I mean? It's like, if you enjoy the music you're making and you want to get it out there, I think there's a lot of pressure at the minute to be on socials, isn't it?
So switching up a little bit, taking it to, obviously you've had your All Night Long not long ago in November. How did that go?
Well, I had a couple.
You had two, didn't you?
I'm assuming we're talking about Loft.
I was talking about Loft.
Yeah, Loft Under the Arches.
Yeah, Under the Arches was just after as well, but yeah, Manchester Loft, that's probably my favourite club. I think it's a lot of people's favourite club. Yeah. Perfect sound system, perfect, capacity. The only thing I could probably say is it could have been longer, 5 hours. Yeah. 5 hours, you know what I mean? It feels, because I did, my first All Night Long was at Mint. I did 8 hours there, done an 8 hour one with Ozzy. And then my one after it was 8 hours, so when I did 5, it felt like it went too quick. But like, wow.
Well, obviously there's a huge difference with an All Night Long and a normal set, but how do you differ your preparation for an All Night Long to a 2 hour set?
It's one of my favourite times, digging for All Night Longs, because you go through your music collection and you're picking out like the B-sides and the slower tracks of EPs that you already love. So usually when I'm playing a headline set, I'll be looking for the big tracks, the big moments, the faster tracks. But yeah, it was cool to look through all the music I already had and all the artists I already liked and pick through some of the deeper tracks that them artists had, you know what I mean? And I really like playing slower as well, like having the club bouncing at like 126, 127 BPM. It's not something you get in many headline sets these days, is it? I feel like everyone's chasing the fast-paced beats, so am I.
Before you know it'll be techno.
But yeah, that's what I mean. But
I feel
like it's cool to have a rave where you can start slow, you can play different tunes and people can still like. I just got memories, especially when me and Ozzy did Josh Brooks. And we played like proper, like raw, like almost dungeon beaty, warm up set. Yeah. And I just remember it being 125 BPM, slow as you like, but the club's absolutely bouncing. You know what I mean?
I'm all over that. I mean.
So yeah,
take it on your own journey, innit? You've got that 5 hour period.
They're probably my favourite sets, I'd say, to play all night long. Cause
what's your secret weapon track that you'd pull out in 2 different sets in like?
Nah, I've got a good answer.
Go on.
What's it called?
Is secret weapon, yeah, right? Dex switch off, technical error, right? Let's come back on. What track you slapping in?
Great question.
See, it depends. It all depends if it's
One comes to mind though. Just what you're slapping in.
You just
straight
thought
off.
of one there, and then you're thinking there could be another one. What was the one you thought of?
one. No, one I thought of. You changed the question though.
Yeah, so throw 2 in then. So what's the answer to his and what's the answer to mine? So the Dex cut off track. What's the answer to that? And then your track that you love to use as a secret weapon in the set.
I reckon Dex got off track. If it's late enough, I'm just gonna play a White Tiger. If it's late enough, you know what I mean? Like, if it is.
No, because Joe, it's funny because the White Tiger, my man decided to rep the Tiger today, so he's just viewed this one.
Nah, it wasn't that.
That's why.
It's got style in it.
Subliminal marketing that.
You knew what he was doing?
No.
But if it's late enough into the night, I'm slamming that in. But the answer to yours was, there's always a track that I play in all night long sets when I'm not playing too fast, but I know I want to take it to like, I want to sort of lift it up a bit because I'll warm up slow. You know what I mean? Play some chiller beats. Pardon me. And then there comes a point where I know I want to almost just flip them a bit and
get a bit excited.
Be a bit like, ooh, what's that one?
Remind
I
them
can't
who's
remember.
it.
I
You're
can't
reminding
remember
me
what
you
the
are.
fucking ideas. Let me find it.
Joe, it's by.
Do you have a little bit of a feeling?
Yeah, it's Samuel Deep. It's Samuel Deep.
I know what it is. Headshot.
Yeah. What's the actual ID though?
It got
Samuel Deep headshot.
Headshot goblin. It's like something edit. Headshot. The whoa.
Mate, honestly, when
Headshot. It's gotta be. It's Percy's best track.
Into the mic. Put everyone on.
Headshot. Hype.
When this comes in at slow BPM and you've been playing chilled out beats and then that comes in, it's like
Just a wobbler.
every
Decides to-
time that moment, everyone's just like, oh, strap in. son."
Everyone wakes up again.
Strap in.
Hold on a minute,
Seatbelt
like,
on.
over 2 hours
Everyone's
yet.
like, oh, he's here now. When I
Headshot.
usually play like 2 hours in, you know what I mean? So I'll be warm up, get up and down a bit, and then that's just like, yeah.
With your all night long set, what kind of journey you take it on? Do you start going like deeper towards the end?
Starts at 119.
Literally, no, I did start 123 BPM, play a load of like raw minimal house, and then it depends how long the set is again. Like at Loft, there was a lot less messing about because there's only 5 hours. 2 hours in, you know what I mean, you're full pelt. But when you have 8 hours, you can really take the first three hours to play slow music. But
Do you need like that 8 hours is really, do you reckon that's the sweet spot? That's your favourite set? To take
long.
it on the proper that is long now.
It's long.
On your feet.
7's probably a perfect sweet spot.
Like there's a seat behind you.
Nah, I can't see. You can't be sitting down enjoying all that long. In fact,
Like that Laidlaw era when he had a bad leg.
to be fair, if I had a bad leg, get me an armchair, bruv. I'll sit down. But nah, I think 7 hours is,
Imagine.
like, I remember 8 hours the first time we did 8 hours. The last hour, I remember every time I thought if DJing felt like any sort of job ever. Well, I've never thought DJing could ever feel like a job. And then I got to that last hour and I was thinking, ooh, I'm a bit achy here, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm in a warehouse. But no,
I'm doing an 8 hour shift on the office and I'm thinking, and then you're stood up cutting shapes.
yeah, but nah,
It's 2 stepping essentially doing a workout.
And
yeah, it's hard. I remember the first couple of all night longs, you have to pace yourself of drinking as well because you get your rider at first, and then I was just drinking what I thought was really slowly. And I remember being like 2 hours in, and you realise, well, I've had a few here, I've had a few. Like, you have to pace yourself, and that's something I learned because 8 hours just drinking slowly, you can get fucked. It's mad.
Yeah.
Here's the next question: What's Danby's go-to rider? We need, the
2
people need
bottles-
to know about this one.
2 bottles of Patron, pineapple juice. I feel like that's just standard.
2
DJ
bottles of
Not ask for
Patron.
anything crazy or like, I've heard someone had a pair of socks on theirs or something.
Sometimes we were on about putting a scratch card on, weren't we?
Scratch card.
Disposable camera.
RTK had a Haribo's on his.
Haribo's, yeah. But mine's pretty boring. I sometimes switch it out and have a healthy rider, and that's got like ginger shots and like fruit juice on
Do you
it.
go ginger shots? Yeah.
If I'm not drinking, you know what I mean, I got a little healthy one. But normally it's just 2 bottles of Patron. Sometimes a rum, because like it's just Patron. We still end up getting it though. A lot of gigs we still end up.
Still put it on.
But I feel like anyone comes, they can just drink the rum.
2
like,
Patron, pineapple juice.
Yeah, the riders just disappear as well. I don't know who's drinking them.
Really, yeah.
Ain't me.
Sending,
like-
sending someone the shop.
No, I just.
That's your job. That go to the
innit?
shop.
Yeah, any DJ will know that rider. There's just a magical ghost in the booth that always just drinks the rider. You come off the
It's
dance
probably-
and you're like, "Where's the rider?" And everyone's just like,
That's Jacko. That's what Jacko does.
Can't
Yeah,
lie.
you
I
just
don't,
feel like-
I don't drink anymore, but if I was to, I'd probably drink your drink.
"These riders have got holes in the bottom of the bottles or something.
Holes.
Something's going on."
Somewhere dodgy going on there.
But nah, I mean, what a mad job though. The only job I know where you get served alcohol on arrival.
For free. Well, speaking of amnesia, you did a universe debut last year.
Yeah.
And you had amnesia as well. How did them sets go down?
Wow. I mean,
Big moments.
Amnesia debut. That's probably my favourite club. I'd not been to Universe at this point, so like I was debuting at my favourite club on the island, and that was sick. Obviously, EastEnders had it rammed out. I mean, how busy was it that time?
Oh, it was chocolate.
That was the most busy I think I've ever seen Amnesia.
I've only been
What
twice.
month was that? What, August, was it?
Oh, I think it was it early August that?
No, it was July.
July.
I think we because I went.
How many sets you played last
We
year?
was in Universe the week
I did
before.
9 in
then.
Ibiza.
So how many all throughout the year, do you know?
Yeah, but then I think it was Universe. That was August.
Yeah.
But that I played in that Wild Comet room, and I'd been told it was good. But I played first as well, and that was probably my favourite set of the summer.
Was it?
Like, yeah, just because of how the room's set up. I mean, not only the sound system's bang on, but I played first, and the flow of the room, because it's actually toilets, it was just full from the start, like full of people, and people were coming in and out. So like, there was never any sort of loss of energy.
Yeah,
It just felt like there was a constant flow of people, and there was just energy
Would
constantly.
you say that's like you said, is the best gig abroad, or is the one at top it in all countries?
That's probably it's got to be the best gig abroad, isn't it?
In that room.
Oh, well, I can give you a couple, like Dxnby in Amsterdam. I
Yeah.
played there. That was absolutely
Dxnby,
sick
yeah.
before Dennis Quinn. Universe definitely got to be one of them.
Is that how you say that?
Dxnby. I
Is
think
that,
so.
is that one with the TH?
Yeah, Dxnby.
I thought it was like Thushaven or something.
I think they say Dxnby.
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 You look Dutch as well now.
That's how the Dutch say it, I'm pretty sure.
Anyway,
I actually have a top 3 gaffs to play in if you want me to list them.
Let's
Like
get
just
it.
rooms. So Loft, Manchester Loft 1, Room 2, Fabric, and then Universe, Wild Comet. If I could play 3 rooms just on repeat.
Just them three.
Because I'm a sucker for just them 300 cap perfect sound systems. Like, I feel like as soon as you get a bit bigger, or you have a stage and like the crowd's pushed back, and you lose a bit of that energy that
so
you
when
get.
you're playing a big room like that, would you say you'd prefer to play with a favourite back to back or just solo?
That's a good point.
He's
you know.
8 hours all night long. 300 cap venue.
What, you on about big venues?
I'm just saying in general for these abroad gigs, would you prefer to have someone to vibe with on a back to back? Like, I'm guessing you play a lot with Aussie.
Usually, you know what? Usually I do like to play solo. Like, you can get more into it. But if it's Aussie, like me and him just flow on the decks. It's easy. You know what I mean? It feels like it just flows too easy with him. So usually I would say myself. But if it's Aussie, it's almost on the same level as doing it myself, because we just flow that easily. You know what I mean? But sometimes I think people put on back to backs, and like management will suggest back to backs, and you've never met the person before, or your music aligns, but you've never met them. I feel like
how
you've got to
would
be.
you deal with that? Would
I
you
feel
have
like
to
you've got to be
message
friends
him,
with them, really. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I feel like it works a lot better if you've known them for a while. You might have even been in the studio with them.
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes people can force back to backs, and I get it. People like 2 massive DJs getting put together, but for me, I always prefer to get put on back to back with someone who I actually know. You know what I mean?
Connection. When's there a you back to back Aussie all night long going on then?
Well, we actually did that. We actually
Do-
done one.
Dozzy.
Josh Brooks. We did actually sell. When was that? That was a while ago now, wasn't it?
Oh, that was a while ago.
Josh Brooks. We sold out. Me and Ozzy back to back. Was that? Did I do that one before? I did.
That
my
was
solo?
that was October. That was
my
that was
first ever back to
October.
back was with Ozzy. First on. Or was the Mint one first?
No, it was Joshua Brooks.
This was my
Joshua
first ever
Brooks
all night long.
October-
Was actually with
October.
Ozzy.
Sick.
But we actually we've got. Can we announce it? I don't know if we can announce it. Me and Ozzy got back to back at the
Of course, you can announce it.
at the club we were just talking about. That's all we'll say.
Yeah, so you've covered pretty much everywhere now. You've played in fucking most places around the world. Just come back from Australia and Thailand. What's your dream venue that's still yet to tick off?
Well, I think soon. I don't know how much I can say, but we'll be going stateside, and there was just something about space in Miami. I think that every DJ just wants to go on that. You know what I mean? The extended sets and stuff like that. So I think that'd be a
Going to like 10 a.m, don't they?
yeah, that'd be a sick one to
Session.
tick off. What else? Definitely looking forward to going back to Capo. I played there ages and ages ago. Trying to work something out for Capaccio, because that's obviously one of the best gaffs there is. What else? I'm sure there's another one.
One more dream venue.
Do you like small intimate venues over?
Well, that's what I mean. Like
Mhm.
tonight, playing at Idra, like that's my ideal sort of venue. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
low ceilings, dark. Unless it's abroad, then you can take it outside. But it's just something about them small, dark venues for me. Like, I don't know if you've seen Under the Arches in Leeds.
It looks sick under the arch.
That push is a bit bigger. I think you can get like 800 in there, maybe 600. But that's still got that underground, like raw feel to it. You know what I mean?
And you can feel the difference in like the crowd reaction in one of the small venues and compared to the bigger.
Yeah, I think I don't know. There's just something that you lose when you get to them massive stages. I feel like you lose a bit of the connection with the crowd.
So building up with, obviously you talked about your dream venues and everything you want to achieve going forward. What would you say your overall for Dxnby is your goal within the next 5 years?
That's hard. That
On the throne. Sitting on,
You
sitting on the
probably
throne.
ticked off a lot that you wanted to tick off, but what's left? Like,
What do you want? What's like? You've got an EP release that you want to drop, like dream label,
get to a certain position?
dream back to back.
so much.
Do you want us to keep going?
There's so much like that I could say, but I'm a guy that just lives like right in the present, so it's hard for
In the
me to
moment.
actually say. You know?
Do you,
That's what I mean.
do you think you've
I'm
hit
one
a
of the
lot of
guys
your
who'll
goals?
just take it.
So from when you started, do you think you've hit a lot of your goals now that you probably never thought you'd ever achieve? Like not saying you weren't.
Yeah, I
weren't,
mean, let's face it. Even 3 years ago, if you'd have told me, I mean, I would have believed it because I always believed. But like, if you'd have said in a couple of years you'll be playing this and you'll be playing that, I probably wouldn't have believed it. But then you almost have to have a deep, like, blind confidence and delusion that you are going to make it. Just
Stay
have this
deluded
drive.
till it works.
But I was just,
has that always been your mindset?
I was just focusing on doing the work rather than figuring out if I was going to be there and make it. Like, I was just making sure I knew as long as I put the music out there and made music each day and carried on doing that, at some point something had to give. I almost had this mindset of I'll just make music until they literally can't ignore me.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's going to be a point where people hear it and like, shit, we have to do something with this kid.
Just
you know
drop
what I
a 1,000-track EP.
well, this is what I did. This is how determined I was. There was 1 year I didn't really have management yet, and management will tell you this is a terrible idea. But I did a Beatport EP once a month for 12 months straight. So I just like organised it from like the end of 1 year in October, finished it off in January. Just put loads of time and effort into going back and forth with all these different labels and all this music that I realistically probably shouldn't have put out. It's pretty terrible. You can go listen to it. But like, I knew if I put 12 EPs out on a different UK-based label, and some of them are international, whatever, I knew that someone's going to notice me, and I'm going to get something from that. And thinking back to another thing Kepler said to me back in the day, he said, if you have a Beatport #1, you will get bookings. And like, that for me is like, that's a tangible bit of information. Like, if you get this, you will get this.
Yeah.
I've always worked on that sort of thing. Like, if you put this in, you will get this. You know what I mean?
Do you still keep that mindset from when you first started? So,
Yeah.
so with the mindset in producing and becoming to get to that level of DJing, the mindset you had when you started, would you say it's the same now? Do you still have the sort of same, even though you've achieved all these goals, would you say you've still got the same sort of drive?
Yeah, it goes back to doing it for yourself. I still, between me and you and everyone that's listening, like, I still, when I make music, and most of the time I still think this could be better, this could be so much better, this could be so much better. Can't wait for this to be perfect. Can't wait for this to be perfect. So like, in my head, I still feel like I'm just on the first couple of steps to wherever I'm going. And I feel like if you keep that mindset, you'll never go wrong. You know what I mean?
Was the track Vibrations a big sort of step up for yourself?
Yeah, well, that was one thing when you talk about milestones. Just getting Stussy to download music and play music at the start of my career, that was like, again, it was tangible things. I was like, if I get Stussy to play my music and he likes it, I know that's something. You know what I mean? It's something.
It's a good achievement.
It meant something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I guess I'm lucky to be in a position where I can just send him music on Instagram and know that it'll get to him.
Yeah.
Before that, it almost felt like he's this elusive guy who you know what I mean? He won't listen to anyone.
Take you on,
He won't listen to the music, but then, yeah. So I remember him playing that and that just being a moment of almost recognition. You know what I mean? Feeling like I'm almost being recognised now because Stussy's playing the music. People are going to take notice of it. That's one thing for sure.
Big achievement. So part of the reason that some of the reason that you're doing so well today and is the team that is around you supporting you day by day. So how do you kind of like build that team of like supportive individuals around you?
Where did they
really
come?
keep it locked in?
Yeah. So to be fair,
Is it based on loyalty, trust?
yeah, I had management very early on, like the guy called Harry Ratcliffe who works for Wadder and stuff now, and Captain Wallop and that. He took me and Wadder and Ozzy and like a group of artists on during lockdown and started almost like a management thing, and then almost just off the trust of these guys are going to get somewhere, because at that there was no reason for him to do that at that point. There was no bookings, it was lockdown. He just saw a group of talent and thought, I'm going to help these guys and push them and give them a bit of guidance. And then when lockdown ended, LGRP, Josh, who my management is now, pardon me, they basically took on these artists that Harry had put together. So we were almost just.
How
My management's been honest. Like Josh has been honest with this before. He was like, at the time, you basically just got took on because of Ozzy, because you was on a roster with Ozzy, and we knew who Ozzy was. We basically just inherited you and Wadder and a set of artists because you was on with Ozzy, and now looking, I mean, so I had a manager from very early on, just because he obviously, after that, he got involved with us and saw a potential that if I stick with these kids, at a certain point, they're going to be massive. And this will have been 2020 or something like that. And then now still exact same manager with me now, been with me through that whole way, built me from, you know, playing the smallest gigs in the country to now probably.
I mean, big up Josh, to be fair. He's done a lot for a lot of artists.
Now obviously probably playing some of the biggest gigs in the country, so yeah. Got a lot to thank to LJRP and Josh just for being so determined and just seeing having
that belief in you.
Yeah, having the belief, because I didn't even have it really at that point.
But also
I just
it
knew I
keeps
could
you
make music.
focusing on the music, and you've got
100%.
people around you believing in that side, and
that's
they
the
can
thing,
do all
like,
the other bits.
They know me. They know that I don't like
Faffing.
I don't like phone calls. I don't like emails. I like making music, being in the studio, and then playing to crowds. So like they help me just be able to lock into the studio,
Just sort of market it right.
Yeah, and just make sure I can just be left alone to do what needed to be done, because like we was talking about earlier, you have to be a bit of an everything guy in this day and age. You have to do socials and all of it, and at a certain point I can be a burnout for a creative guy, you know what I mean? If you're trying to be everything and in your head you're just trying to make music, you know what I mean? So I thank my team just for being able to let me be me and
take some weight off your shoulders, really.
Yeah, just all the back and forths about money and all this
logistics.
Do you ever get
and
involved with like the camera side of things? So if like, do you have to make sure it's right for yourself, or do you have trust in your team
when it comes to what, like shows and stuff?
Like the way they're filming and stuff. And, like,
he'll tell you I'm very, very, very picky with it. Like, yeah, like
What
with like
RML was.
fonts and stuff. Like fonts. If you do a font on a story and I don't like it, it's like I don't know. I'm quite picky with branding, I
I
guess.
was just saying, I thought Arameo was a bit like that. I thought you were a bit less, but it seems like you two peas in a pod.
No, Arameo just don't like his face. Let's have that on camera.
Nah, well, he's got himself as his background, hasn't he, on his computer?
No, if you take a photo of him, he's like, no, do I look alright? I'm not. Yeah.
I seen your comment the other day. He's like promoting the track. He was like, only Arameo would have himself as his background on his laptop.
Come on, you can't have yourself as your wallpaper, can you? That is bad.
I was
That.
creasing when I read that, 'cause it's
That's
so
like,
true.
imagine you saw someone like picks the phone up and it's just their mug on their own phone. Like, surely that's offside.
He's got posters of himself in his room.
Have you? What, with your own name and that?
That is him. That is him. Posters of himself.
Obviously,
and
doesn't have posters of himself in my room, bro.
Big bite.
Right, next. Right, speaking of all these artists and all your close friends, a question we do on the pod is a DJ five-a-side. So if you were to build a DJ roster of five-a-sides, who would be in yours?
Is this just off vibes or if they're good at footy?
Absolutely, no, not footy. Like sort of like a concept. So
But
like
what I
DJ
need-
everything, but also you can do one if you wanted to make an actual footy team.
Dami, hear me here. There's some requirements. I need goalkeeper who's saving the set. Yeah, I need captain.
Yeah, this is DJ.
Captain who's leading it, like manager.
Right, I'm gonna have captain.
But here
captain.
though, super sub as well. I need a super sub. Now think of it.
And then build a youth squad. No, joking. Right.
Do 5 players in a
You got
super
to have
sub.
Stussy centre back,
Yeah.
because he was a centre back in his day, I think, wasn't he?
I mean,
He was
I
a
think
defender.
he was.
Stussy
yeah. What
centre
sort of
back.
what sort of position would you think they'd go?
Me,
Yeah.
I'll go fucking me and Stussy both centre backs. 'Cause when I played football, I was captain centre back.
Nice.
And,
Well, I'll be
I mean,
running at you, not
clearing
Stussy.
up loose balls like you won't believe.
Really?
So
Yeah.
Stussy, I'll have Stussy on my left. I'll be on right. Are we doing full 11 here? Or 5-a-side?
Just do 5. So I want a goalkeeper.
Nah, to be
Saving
fair,
it.
it'll be 6 sides. It's you plus 5, so pick 5.
We've got to have. I think. Who's going to be good up front?
Someone who can head the ball.
Who's a striker?
I think. I don't know. I think we should have RTK.
He's been in everyone's squad.
Just for the mouth.
Energy.
Just for he's just got to be the captain. Just
He's
give
gotta
it
be
a
the
team
manager.
talk.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
and that. I think you stick Jam back up front. I think he's got a naughty little like flick on him in.
Do you not reckon like
Do I need one
Marcelo?
more?
He's getting his head on everything.
Marcelo, I don't know. I think he might be shy of the ball.
Oh.
Who else? You can't laugh at him, man.
Your laughs are making it sound worse than he's saying it.
Who else? How many more do I need?
Goalkeeper. Who's saving that shit?
You need a full backs though.
No, mate, you're trying to build an 11 side. Chill. We're
Stussy,
building
centre
5.
back. No, we don't need any more defenders.
Go on.
I mean,
You need a goalkeeper.
just need a goalkeeper.
Who's saving the set?
Pardon me.
Who's saving the lineup?
Where am I?
Centre half.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
You got
I'm
Jam
not
back and RTK up front, you and Stuss at the back, who's in net, and then who's a super sub?
Surely you know more than 4 DJs.
Super sub. Yeah, but this is,
Arameo Gigster, they not making nothing.
I just think of their football talents. I've seen them on the pitch.
It's not. Doesn't actually have to be footy.
Nah, you know what? Yeah, put Jay in net because he's massive. Like he's lanky as fuck. And then Giggy super sub because like if I don't mention him, he'll get offended.
Right, now the next one. This is your all-time, all over the years, DJ Mount Rushmore top 4 influences for yourself.
Why don't we do it in if it was my dream event?
Alright,
Do that now.
okay.
I mean-
Dream lineup.
You just changed the whole concept for every single pod going forward.
Yeah.
Go on.
No,
I just
that-
thought it'd be cool because then you can see like how the night would.
That's
flow.
fine. No, you build a lineup. Yeah, we'll start at 9 p.m. ends at 4. Who's going on? What times? 4 DJs.
I'm gonna play first.
You're playing first, yeah. 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, slow
just-
start.
You're gonna give
warm
yourself a little 5-hour set. Give everyone else half an hour.
I think I'll play first. Enzo's got to play on there somewhere.
Yeah. Close out back to back.
Feels wrong
Kepler.
not to have Kepler on there just
Yeah,
just for the
Yeah,
sake
yeah,
of it. You know what I mean? Just for the, and then
Gigster back to back J at the end.
yeah,
Yeah, got half time.
no,
Keep him
we'll get no. In fact, let me reshape it. Gigs to back Jay, then me, then Enzo. Then we just need like some mad curveball at the end just to send like Mike Skinner or something just to fucking. You know what I mean, the streets there.
Jeremy,
just
Ray
to,
Hurley.
just to be something like that. You know what I mean,
Yeah, sick.
just to be something different
That's a 2030 lineup in
Yeah,
the
when's
future.
that happening?
in 2030.
Yeah. Is that right? Someone said it to me the other day. Did you call it 2030 because by the time 2030 comes, you'd have made it? Because that is a great concept if you do.
It's
Let's
kind
run with it.
it's kind of like that, like the idea of timelessness, and also it was always thought of as a label as well. So I didn't want to have a fad of a label and just like assign music that was hot now. I always wanted the music on there to be relevant in 2030 as well as now. And this was when I started. It would have been maybe 10 years before. But yeah, it was definitely the ethos of just like looking forward and just concentrating on the journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not getting too bogged down
Cool.
with it all.
What does Dami do in his spare time? What's some of your hobbies? I know you say music, full send, music, but surely you've got to have an output somewhere.
Yeah, what's like your wind down?
Where's Miles?
You think Miles going to try and rescue you?
It's on you, this.
I don't really have one. That's the thing. Like,
Do you have an output?
Is
like,
it just
what do you
music?
do?
Like, what do you do to chill out?
I'll
to
just
the
shift it
cinema,
into
watch
other
films?
areas of it. So like, if I'm not in the mood to make music, I'll focus on running 2030 or whatever. And
Do you still have a lot of involvement with that side of things, even with all your touring?
It's
and
me.
everything? Is it purely just you and then you
like running the label at the minute? We're focusing a lot on, just thinking outside the box. Like going back to like releasing dub plates of like a couple presses of vinyl, and like for my project, I think I'm gonna release some stuff on CD. Just like I just like releasing music, and I think there's two types of people in the industry. You've got the DJs and people who produce music, and then you've got the people who do everything. You see like people like, I don't know, Bernski or Dennis, they'll run their own labels, they'll throw a party, they'll do everything.
lot of
Just do a lot.
Sounds like
or
you.
that's what I'm saying. They just do a lot. Or there's people like Ozzy who'll he just makes fire and DJs. I don't know. I think I'm just.
We just had insight from behind the camera. Apparently, you play skate.
Yeah, I do play skate, but it's fucking shit. EA, sort that game out. Like, I used to play Skate 3, so I thought, I even bought a PS5 just to play this skate game. Listen, what is this? There's no culture in it.
Skate 3 is the goal.
Like, if you've played the game, there's no vibe to it. There's no heart in it. It's just a dead game. Dead game.
It's shit.
So EA, sort it out.
So if it's not music, it's not producing music, it's not listening to music.
I'll flick on a bit of skate.
You play music and it's a bit of skate.
What else I do? I like watching films. Like, I've got a dead attention span, so it has to be like.
Do you ever get influence from a film and make a track? And use the
like
samples.
I like watching films that look like I can watch a film that the story's terrible, but if it's filmed nice and colour graded nice and like set in a cool setting, like I'm into it.
Which favourite film?
Yeah, what's the genre?
My favourite film's probably Fight Club.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just because when I first watched it pissed me off because I didn't know what was happening until right at the last minute, and then you get it and I was like, I've just been pissed off for an hour and a half for no reason. I don't know. I like when a film plays with your head a little bit.
Is that a Wu-Tang tattoo?
It is a Wu-Tang tattoo.
Yeah.
That was stick and poked when I was like 15.
Just a Wu-Tang tattoo.
I was in that era where I was like, fuck you, mom.
Yeah.
Don't give a shit about everything.
You're a fan of Redman and Method Man.
But yeah, Wu-Tang, like 90s hip hop. From something we haven't really even touched on is probably like
fuck you, man.
Yeah, Ghostface
it's
Killer.
my main. Yeah, 90s hip hop is my main. Like
What's your favourite Wu-Tang track?
Protect Your Neck, definitely.
Yeah, it's got to be up there.
But yeah, I need
Or
to get the
Gravel
Wu-Tang tattoo finished. But Wu-Tang and hip hop, 90s hip hop has had such a massive influence in all my music. I think, just like I mean, even bumping has got a little hip hop flavour in there. You know what I mean? Like,
You sampling all that.
yeah, sampling a lot of, especially more now. Like I'm sampling a lot of hip hop in my current tracks. And yeah, when you asked what do I do in my spare time, if it's not producing, listening to house, or maybe on the PS or running the label, it probably is listening to records of hip hop. So I got Wu-Tang album, Mobb Deep, you know what I mean, just all the old school 90s.
I'm saying.
I just love listening to that on record. So yeah,
On vinyl, yeah.
Yeah.
Just spin them in your room.
yeah, like I've got a turntable and I barely listen to house on it. It's just I'll be listening to other sides.
Get the incense going.
So what have you got
Incense
upcoming,
going, you know that.
just before we wrap up soon? Have you got any upcoming shows you've got? What's
Yeah, I mean, we
2026
just announced
looking like?
Park Live, which I'm buzzing about. Like,
Nice.
that's one to look forward to.
What
That's like a
stage?
bucket list.
Yeah, big one.
I don't even know what stage is it doing now.
Yeah, light
Oh,
work.
yeah.
First playing
got
at
another-
Anfield.
Have you played Part Life before?
Nah, first time.
Have you not?
Nah.
I would have thought you would have done.
Yeah, another big festival that I don't think we can say, but it's big.
Say
Is
it,
big
we'll bleep
Is
it.
it a UK one?
UK based.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cream.
What else? It's
Um,
2 shows.
yeah, just that. I'm then retiring for the rest of the year. And go to Thailand and just
Any abroads that you can?
What sort of love did you get out in Thailand, actually? Like Thailand, Australia, but you had a lot of love out
There's
there.
a lot
What
of
was
UK
it like?
though in Jan, isn't there?
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah,
It's surprising, especially when I played Sydney. I played on this boat in the harbour, so you're going past like the Opera House in Sydney and going over the bridge and stuff. 6 seconds, and the amount of people that I met from back home there, like I met a kid that I've not seen in like 15 years that I used to play Sunday League with when I was a kid, just on the boat. You know what I mean? I had a chat with him. Just seeing people like from back home where I went to school. Yeah, it's mad the amount of like English people you see over there, and then Thailand as well. Just played back to back with Aussie again. Sunset, like on a beach club, sunset view. Green room had a pool in it.
Yeah,
It was
nice,
different. You know what I
nice.
mean? So yeah,
Heavy.
it's nice to see like the amount of venues and clubs and events that are popping off in Thailand as well. I can see that becoming a real like hot spot for
Yeah.
our scene as the years develop. I can see it becoming another IB
Nice-
just for
nice little
January.
I still
January
need to
scene,
go.
yeah.
He's just been for 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Landed
Can't
yesterday.
be it.
Me and you landing back yesterday.
Yeah,
but
I'm
tired.
He's a jet lag.
Jet lagged, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
No,
no.
we're good. We're good.
Yeah, so now we big up having you on. What we do like to do towards the end is, I would say we ask our 3 generic questions, but we've already asked them. So it was, what's your favourite, what's your dream back to back, and what's your dream venue? We've discussed over that, so how you'll go and take the 3rd one away. And
Yeah, so
Close
we
out.
like to ask our guests just to shout out some of their friends, some of the people they know that think would be great to have on the Third Person podcast. Have a chat with us.
Me.
Some of your friends.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already had you on,
Yeah.
but we can have you on for an episode 2 if you want.
we will do in the future,
Mm.
but who would you want to see on this podcast?
Who's going to give some good insight, good advice for the scene?
Not Jay.
Good to talk to.
Get us Kepler on there.
Kepler, that would be sick, but who else? Burns could be sick, but I don't know if a lot of us musicians are.
If you want, you can just roll out
A
a
lot
list
of
of
us
names.
musicians,
yeah, if
no,
you
I'm
want.
saying a lot of us musicians are introverts, bro. You know what I mean? People.
No, I know, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's
I don't know
always
if Burns could do
the most
interview like that.
creative ones are.
Yeah. I did. Yeah, Dennis Quinn.
He won't fit on the camera, he's too tall.
Yeah, he's Dennis Quinn. Yeah, people with history, obviously. Like, I'm young. Like, there'll be people in the industry that have been doing it for that long. They got stories on stories. Like, I remember I did a interview with Creature before, and just like the amount of history he was telling me about Leeds, like he was telling me about when Mint Warehouse used to be called like curb crawlers and stuff like this. Just like people with history like that is always sick. But then if it's gonna be my friends, I've got to say like get Gigster on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get I was gonna say Josh, but that'd be a terrible podcast, that wouldn't it?
I think a little insight, we are going to be...
For the insight, but I don't know if he'd be able to contain himself. He'd just be like, "Whoa, I'm on a podcast."
We're going to stretch out to, like, other than DJs in the scene going down the line, so we'll be getting, like, artist managers, like venues, people...
Callum, he'd probably be a good chat from Lab 11. Callum,
Yeah, we're getting brand owners and venue owners and stuff.
promoters, just anyone who's got passion for music, you know what I mean? Like,
It's insight. No.
You ain't got fuck all to say, son.
You're telling us about how he sold his house. That's about it.
So, bro, I'm selling my house tomorrow.
Hiya, lad.
Right, so yeah, it's been great having you on.
Yeah, man,
Appreciate
big up,
all the
boys.
insight. Big up, brother.
I appreciate you coming on the podcast, brother.
Yeah, I'll come back.
Big
Tell you me.
up, big up, Dami.
Safe.
Anyone you want to shout out?
Shout out me nan.
You know,
Dave.
big up.
Big
See
up.
you later.
Swear down.